All right, get ready because we're about to take a deep dive that's specifically for you.
Okay.
So you're about to travel,
Yes.
and very smart of you, you're thinking about cybersecurity while you're on the road.
Very good.
We are looking at an article here that recommends ethical hacking podcasts
Interesting.
to stay safe.
Okay.
So who knew that learning about cybercrime could actually be your secret weapon for travel safety?
You know what's fascinating about that is it's like learning a magician's secrets.
Right.
Once you see how the tricks are done, you're much harder to fool.
I like that.
So these podcasts, they expose the tactics that hackers use.
Yeah.
And by bringing those risks into focus in a way that really sticks with you,
Yeah.
it can make all the difference.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
The article here specifically highlights Darknet Diaries
Oh, yeah.
as a must listen.
Yeah.
Have you checked this one out?
Oh, absolutely. Darknet Diaries is incredible for getting inside the minds of hackers. There's one episode that really comes to mind. It involved a hacker who used social engineering to infiltrate a company.
Okay.
They basically convinced an employee to give them access to sensitive information just by pretending to be from IT.
Wow.
It's chilling how easily it happened.
Oh my goodness.
And it just highlights the human element of cybersecurity.
No, that's a perfect example
Yes.
of how these podcasts can really teach us about these real-world threats.
It is.
The article also recommends Malicious Life,
Okay.
which dives into the history of cyber attacks.
Yeah.
Is understanding the history of hacking really that important for everyday travelers?
It is, because
Okay.
it's all about patterns.
Right.
Malicious Life shows how cyber attacks have evolved from simple pranks to these sophisticated data breaches.
Oh, wow.
So by seeing how things have escalated in the past, we can better anticipate the threats of the future.
That makes sense.
And plus, knowing about past vulnerabilities and how they were exploited can help us identify potential weaknesses in current systems.
I see.
So it's all connected.
So we've got the thrill of Darknet Diaries.
Right.
We've got the historical context of Malicious Life.
Yes.
But let's be honest, travel days can be very hectic.
Totally.
Are there any podcasts out there that can give me a quick cybersecurity boost on the go?
Yeah. For bite-sized updates, CyberWire Daily is excellent.
Okay.
It's like your daily cybersecurity briefing.
Okay.
Covering the latest threats and vulnerabilities in a way that's quick and easy to digest.
Nice.
Imagine just a few minutes a day could save you from a major travel headache.
Okay, I'm adding that one to my list right now.
Good.
Cyberwire Daily.
You got it.
The article also mentions Smashing Security,
Okay.
which apparently has a bit of humor mixed in.
It does. It does.
Is it possible to learn about cybersecurity and have a laugh at the same time?
Smashing Security proves that it's definitely possible.
Okay.
They tackle some serious cybersecurity topics, but they do it with a lighthearted and engaging approach. It's a great way to stay informed without feeling overwhelmed.
I like that.
Yeah, they do a great job of breaking down complex concepts
Yeah.
in a way that's both informative and entertaining.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got podcasts for thrill seekers, history buffs,
Mm-hmm.
and even those of us who need a little humor in our cybersecurity education.
Exactly.
But what about actually protecting ourselves?
Right.
The article mentions several practical tips,
Yeah.
but the one that jumped out at me was avoiding public Wi-Fi.
Yes,
Is it really that risky?
it is.
I mean, what if I absolutely need to connect?
Public Wi-Fi can be a real trap, especially when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Hackers can set up these fake networks that look legitimate, allowing them to intercept your data.
Wow.
So if you must connect, a VPN is your best friend.
Okay, hold on a sec. What exactly IS is a VPN,
Sure.
and how does it actually protect me?
So a VPN, or virtual private network, creates a secure tunnel between your device and the internet.
Okay.
Think of it as a secret passageway that shields your data from prying eyes.
Okay.
So when you use public Wi-Fi, a VPN encrypts your connection,
Yeah.
making it much harder for hackers to steal your information.
So it's like putting all my online activity in a locked box
Yes,
before sending it through that public Wi-Fi.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not all VPNs are created equal.
Okay.
So for travel, I would recommend looking into WireGuard.
Okay.
It's known for its speed and security.
Okay.
OpenVPN is another robust option,
Okay.
but it might be slightly slower.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So choosing the right VPN is important,
It is.
especially if I'm worried about speed.
Especially if you're streaming or
Right.
doing anything. That
Exactly.
requires a lot of bandwidth.
What other security tips should I have on my radar while I'm traveling?
Another essential tip is enabling two-factor authentication.
Okay.
It adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification, like a code sent to your phone in addition to your password.
Two-factor authentication. That's the one where I have to type in a code from my phone, right?
That's exactly it.
But doesn't that get annoying, especially when I'm on the go and need to access my accounts quickly?
I understand the inconvenience, but think of it this way.
Right.
Would you rather deal with a few extra seconds of typing in a code
Yeah,
or the potential nightmare of having your accounts hacked while you're traveling?
you're right. You're right. A little inconvenience now is definitely worth avoiding a major security headache later.
Absolutely.
Good point.
And speaking of headaches, using strong and unique passwords is another crucial tip.
Okay.
I know it can be a pain to remember a bunch of different passwords, but a password manager can be a lifesaver.
Okay, password managers, I've heard of them,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I've always thought they were a bit overkill.
Okay.
Convince me why I need one, especially for travel.
Imagine this. You're at a cafe, connected to public Wi-Fi,
Okay.
and you need to log into your email, your bank account, maybe even book a tour online. Without a password manager, you're likely using the same password or variations of the same password for all of those accounts.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If a hacker manages to snag that one password, they have access to everything.
Whoa. Okay, I see your point.
It's a big risk.
So a password manager not only creates super strong passwords, but also keeps track of them all for me.
Yes.
So I don't have to juggle a million different combinations.
That's exactly right.
Okay, sold.
And many password managers have autofill features,
Oh, wow.
making it even easier to log into your account securely, even on the go.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm starting to see the light here.
Good.
Are there any other simple things I can do to boost my cybersecurity while traveling?
You know, here's one that's super easy but often overlooked.
Okay.
Turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi when you're not using them.
Okay.
This limits the opportunities for attackers to access your devices without your knowledge.
I see.
It's like locking your front door when you leave the house.
That's a great analogy.
Simple but effective.
Yeah, and it's something I can easily do right now.
Absolutely.
What about keeping my devices updated?
Yes.
I know those updates can be a pain, especially when I'm trying to pack and get ready for a trip.
Sure.
Is it really that important?
Think of software updates, like getting your travel vaccinations.
Boy.
They might be a bit of a hassle,
Yeah.
but they protect you from potential threats.
Okay.
Updates often include important security patches that address newly discovered vulnerabilities.
I see. That makes sense.
So it's worth taking the time.
I'll be sure to get those devices fully updated before I head out on my trip.
Good plan.
So we've got podcasts to make us cybersecurity savvy
Yes.
and a whole toolkit of practical tips to put into action.
You got it.
What stands out to you as the most valuable takeaway so far?
For me, it's the reminder that cybersecurity is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, and taking proactive steps to protect ourselves.
I like that.
These podcasts and tips give us the power to do just that.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From understanding hacker tactics
Yes.
to securing our devices.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
We've been focusing on individual cybersecurity,
Right.
safeguarding our devices and our data. But what about the bigger picture?
Yes.
As technology continues to advance, especially in the travel industry,
Uh-huh.
what new challenges are on the horizon?
That's a great question and one we need to think about.
We'll be back in a flash to tackle that very question.
It's amazing how these podcasts can make cybersecurity feel so relatable, even exciting at times.
I know, right?
They're like those based on a true story thrillers,
Right.
except it's all happening in the digital world.
And it's that storytelling aspect that really helps the information sink in.
It does.
I bet I could recount a chilling tale from Darknet Diaries
Yes.
way more easily than I could recite a list of security protocols.
Exactly. And that's the key here. It's not just about knowing the threats. It's about internalizing that knowledge and changing your behavior.
Right.
These podcasts make you feel like you're part of the story,
Uh-huh.
which makes the lessons more impactful.
What I also find interesting is how accessible these podcasts are.
They are.
You don't need to be a tech whiz to understand them.
No, not at all.
They explain complex concepts in a way that anyone can grasp.
Absolutely. They break down those technical terms and jargon into plain language.
Right.
Using real-world examples and analogies that make it easy to follow along.
Yeah.
It's like having a friendly cybersecurity expert walking you through it all.
So as you've been listening to these podcasts and absorbing all this information,
Yes.
what's been your biggest aha moment so far?
For me, it's the realization that cybersecurity isn't a one-time fix.
Right.
It's an ongoing process, a constant game of cat and mouse.
I see.
Hackers are always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And we have to stay vigilant and adapt our defenses accordingly.
So it's like they're giving us a cheat sheet for this ever-evolving world of cybersecurity.
Exactly.
But let's face it, even with all the knowledge and precautions in the world,
Yeah.
there's always that nagging thought in the back of our minds. What if, despite our best efforts,
Yeah.
something does happen?
Right.
What if we become a target?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we should all be prepared for.
Okay.
Having a plan in place is crucial.
Okay.
Know what steps to take if you suspect your devices have been compromised or your data has been stolen.
So it's not just about prevention,
No.
but also about having a damage control plan.
Exactly.
What kind of things should we be thinking about in terms of that plan?
First things first, contact information.
Okay.
Having those key numbers readily available is essential.
Okay.
Your bank, your credit card companies, even the local authorities in your destination.
Right.
Knowing who to call in an emergency can save you a lot of stress and hassle.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to overlook those practical details when we're caught up in the excitement of planning a trip.
It is. And don't forget about resources like identity theft protection services.
Right.
They can be invaluable if your personal information is compromised.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from understanding the tactics of cyber criminals to taking proactive steps to protect ourselves, and even having a plan in place for those just-in-case scenarios.
We have.
But there's one more layer to this cybersecurity onion that I want to peel back before we move on.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What are you thinking about?
We've been focusing on individual cybersecurity,
Right?
safeguarding our devices and our data.
Yeah.
But what about the bigger picture?
Okay.
As technology continues to permeate every aspect of travel, from booking flights to navigating airports and even accessing our hotel rooms,
Right.
what are the implications for cybersecurity on a larger scale?
That's a fantastic point, and it's something that often gets overlooked.
Yeah.
We tend to focus on our own little digital bubbles. But the reality is that we're all part of a much larger ecosystem.
Yeah.
As technology becomes more integrated into travel infrastructure, the potential attack surface expands exponentially.
It's almost like the whole travel industry is becoming one giant interconnected network.
It is.
And any weak point in that network could potentially be exploited.
Exactly. And that brings up a whole host of new challenges.
Oh, gosh.
Think about the potential consequences of a cyber attack on an airport's systems, for example.
Right.
It could disrupt flight schedules, compromise passenger data, even create safety risks.
Wow, that's a sobering thought.
It is.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of everything in the digital age.
It does.
But what can be done to address these larger-scale cybersecurity challenges?
It's definitely a complex issue, but not insurmountable.
Okay.
It requires a multifaceted approach with collaboration between governments, organizations, and individuals.
Right.
Stronger regulations, robust security protocols, ongoing training and awareness programs.
Yeah.
All of these play a crucial role in building a more resilient travel ecosystem. And this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Let's delve deeper into the future of travel cybersecurity after a quick break.
Okay, we are back and ready to explore the future of travel cybersecurity.
Okay.
We have talked about protecting ourselves.
Yes.
But as you were saying, the whole travel landscape is shifting with technology.
It is.
What kind of future are we looking at?
What's fascinating is how the line between physical and digital security is blurring.
Okay.
Think about airports.
Yeah.
They're becoming these complex, interconnected ecosystems. From baggage handling to passenger screening,
Right.
everything is reliant on technology.
So it's not just about our individual devices anymore.
No, it's not.
It's about the security of the entire system.
Exactly.
Wow.
And with things like biometric boarding passes
Okay.
and digital identity verification on the rise,
Yeah.
the potential attack surface just keeps expanding.
I see.
This raises some big questions.
Okay, like what?
How do we ensure these systems are resilient?
Okay.
How do we protect critical infrastructure and passenger data from sophisticated cyber attacks?
It sounds like we are going to need a whole new level of cybersecurity awareness.
Yes.
Not just for travelers, but for the organizations and governments managing these systems.
Absolutely. We need to be proactive in
Right.
investing in robust security systems,
Right.
implementing stringent protocols,
Yeah.
fostering international collaboration to share threat intelligence.
Okay.
Those are all vital pieces of the puzzle.
So it's like a global effort.
It is.
We need to be working together to create a safer travel experience for everyone.
Precisely. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
As artificial intelligence and machine learning become more integrated into travel systems,
Right.
they offer powerful tools for threat detection and prevention.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they
Yeah.
could introduce new vulnerabilities that hackers might try to exploit.
It's like a constant race to stay ahead of the curve, isn't it?
It is.
As technology evolves, so do the threats, and so must our defenses.
That's the reality of cybersecurity in the 21st century.
Okay.
But the good news is that awareness is the first line of defense.
Right.
By understanding the risks, staying informed about emerging threats, and adopting proactive security measures, we can make travel safer for everyone.
So to wrap this all up as we head off on our adventures,
Yes.
we need to keep those podcasts playing those security tips in mind and keep asking those big picture questions.
I agree.
The future of travel cybersecurity depends on all of us being informed and engaged. Safe travels and stay